Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing my May bullet journal plan with me. So if you guys enjoy these types of videos, make sure you check out my full playlist of all my bullet journal videos that you guys can go check out. But without further ado, let's get started. So I always like to show my past month. So for April I had a gem purple geode type theme going on. So if you guys would like to check out that video, that link will be in the description box. But anyways, here's my overview of April for my calendar. I used lots of stickers that I made with watercolor, and I also got a bunch of new stationery. So like I got some gold markers, which you can see I used a lot in here, as well as some new Tombow dual brush tip markers. But yeah, anyways, this is my habit tracker and highlights goals section. I really like how the purple turned out. It was really fun because I had lots of purple markers for that. And for my weekly spreads, I like to include a bunch of pictures. So most of these photos that I printed off the computer, I found on Pinterest. Looking back at this, I realized that you can't really see the days of the week because I wrote it in such a light purple marker, but in real life you can definitely see it a little bit more easily. For this page, I used the new gold marker for the days of the week, and I am absolutely obsessed with how it turned out. I actually use that gold marker for pretty much everything now. And lastly, for the last week in April, I used a different weekly spread than I have in the past, and I like how it looks, but it was a little bit annoying because all of my words were a little bit squished. But there's lots of room vertically, just not a lot horizontally. But that is all of my April pages. So now we're going to move on to creating my May spread. So for my May spread, I decided to go with a yellow theme. So I have a bunch of like daisies and florals. So for my cover page, I drew this flower wreath with some daisies on it. I went over it with a black skinny Sharpie, and then after that I colored in some of the centers of the flowers with this yellowy orange Crayola super tip, and this is going to be my color throughout my entire May bullet journal spread. And lastly, I glued that piece of paper into my bullet journal, and this is what it looks like. I'm really happy with how it turned out. It's a lot different than what I have done in the past, as I usually do a watercolor, but yeah, that's what it looks like. So every single month I seem to do a full calendar. I really don't know if I could go without a calendar. I think I wouldn't like anything else, but I went ahead and drew up my calendar. The squares on it are 6 by 6 if you were wondering, and then I just marked those all out, and I left a space at the top to write the days of the week. Then at the top I wrote May with a black Tombow marker, and as you can see, if you notice, there was a ladybug that was crawling on my desk. But anyways, on the side I have an events section and a to-do section, and then I drew these daisies with a fine liner. And I colored the middles in with a yellow marker just to give it a pop of color. And lastly, I glued in some images that I printed off the computer. I have this really cute daisy one. Actually, they're both daisies, but one is a row of daisies and one is just a random assortment of them. And then I also added some stickers, which I made, and I added some white highlights onto my May. And yeah, that is my completed calendar. I really like how it turned out. I think the color is really pretty and it matches really well with the images that I printed off the computer. And moving on to my next page, this is going to be my habit tracker page, and I'm going to be doing something a little bit different this month. Normally I do one habit tracker for all of the habits I want to keep track of, but I decided to do a separate one for each habit, so I don't know if it's going to work better for me, we'll see. So I made these little boxes with smaller boxes inside, so every single time I do that in a day I can color it or make a dot or something, whatever I feel like. And then at the bottom I printed out this image that I glued on, and I also doodled a bunch of daisies, which did take me quite a long time, but I like how it turned out. And the insides I colored with the same Crayola Super Tip marker. And I added a yellow drop shadow to the title at the top, and I wrote all of the habits I want to keep track of underneath the grid. So on the other page I have a goals section, which I wrote in the same font as the habit tracker, and then I added this line of daisies, which is similar to what I drew before, and then below it I have a highlight section, which is exactly the same as the goals. And I added the same yellow drop shadows and glued in an image that I printed off and added some more doodles. So that is the completed habit tracker, goals, and highlights page. I always like to have this each month. I find it helpful and I like looking back on them. And the last page I'm going to do is my first weekly bullet journal spread. So I started by adding some images that I printed off, and I added some more daisies, and I wrote May at the top. I like having a mini calendar so I can see a monthly overview. I wrote all of the days of the week with a Tombow marker, added some more doodles and daisies, and I kind of just kept on adding things until I was satisfied with it. As the week goes on, I always do add more stickers and more doodles, but you will have to wait till next month's Plan With Me to see how this page ends up turning out. So that completes my May Plan With Me. So as you may know, I make my weekly bullet journal spreads as the month progresses. So to see all of the other weekly spreads that I make, I always show them into my next month's bullet journal setup. So if you guys are interested, you can stay tuned for that. But yeah, thanks again for watching. Make sure you subscribe to my channel if you are not already, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys!